Supreme Lord, eternal truth, let us obey thee alone and live according to truth. परमोच प्रभु सत्यम नित्य त्वमेव केवलम अनुवर्तामहे सत्यम अनुजीवम केवलम ओम शांति शांति शांति. Namaste. Good morning. Vande Matram. Welcome all of you. The topic of this morning's discussion will be on mystery of death's reign. The beautiful topic. It is described, narrated, voiced by the Mother, by the Supreme Mother. So, few lines in brief we will know about the mystery of the death's reign. Very interesting, of course, we will see Mother quotes here, O death, this is the mystery of thy reign. From here directly Mother quotes here, O death, this is the mystery of thy reign. In earth's anomalous and magic field, carried in its aimless journey by the sun, mid the forced marches of the great dumb stars, a darkness occupied the fields of God. So this is the very, everything was sweet, so smooth, everything was there, everything was all right, life was there, it is a smooth coverage. But think what happened, mid the forced marches of the great dumb stars, carried in its aimless journey by the sun, in earth's anomalous and magic field, what happened, how the change came? A darkness occupied the fields of God. A darkness occupied the fields of God. It was enlightened, it was luminous, but a darkness occupied the fields of God. And matter's world was governed by thy shape. This world of matter, of course, it was governed by thy shape. Thy mask has covered the eternal space. Once again, very tragic. Thy mask has covered the eternal space, and the bliss that made the world has fallen asleep. This world is made out of the bliss. That bliss which made the world has fallen asleep for this contrarieties. Thy presence, thy mask. These are the aspect. These are the things which actually downpour actually and changed the entire structure of the world. Then Mother quotes again, abandoned in the vast sea slumbered on, an evil transmutation overtook her members till she knew herself no more. This has been occupied, this has been hacked, this has been forcibly imposed upon her. So her members till an evil transmutation overtook her members till she knew herself no more. This is the change, this is the position, this is the great change has been on her. Only through her creative slumber fleet, frail memories of the joy and the beauty mint under the sky's blue love and green scarped trees, and happy squanderings of scents and hues. Only memory and memory, frail memories. Some slumber filled frail memories of joy and beauty are there, but the original is there, cast by thy shadow, thy presence, thy rain, thy mask. And happy squanderings of scents and hues in the field of the golden promenade of the sun and the vigil of the dream light of the stars, it has happened. Amid high meditating heads of hills, on the bosom of voluptuous rain-kissed earth, and by the sapphire tumblings of the sky. Just imagine what was the initial point and what now is. Everything it has been disturbed. The fields of God is disturbed. It is actually distorted. It is hijacked. Everything is actually in the opposite characteristic it has attained. But now, the primeval innocence is lost. But now it was there. Everything was there. Rain-kissed earth, sapphire tumblings of the sky, meditating heads of hills. But now, what happened? What at present? What is there? But now the primal innocence is lost. Nature created a lot. God, divine presence was there. Everything was there. Now this primal innocence is lost, and death and ignorance govern the mortal world. After this great thing has happened, this innocence is lost. What is there in the place? There only ego. The death and ignorance govern the mortal world, and nature's visage wear a grayer hue. Visage, nature's visage, everything was calm and all this is gone. Now everything see governed by death and ignorance, and under this nature's visage is wears a grayer hue. Earth still, again still they use steel. It was there initially, it is now governed by death and ignorance. Still still in the courts and in the words of the wordings of the mother, earth still has kept her early charm and grace. Still something is there, even if thou hast governed, thy mask has covered, if thy reign of death and ignorance is there, still something there. Still earth has kept her early charm and grace. The grandeur and the beauty still are hers. What we see, the grandeur, the beauty still are hers, but veiled as the divine inhabitant. She is there, definitely it is there inside us, but actually he is staying veiled as the is the divine inhabitant staying here, being veiled. The souls of men are wandered from light, and the great mother turns away her face. Again, the divine inhabitant veiled, he had used the terms like this. After using these terms, straight mother, Sri Aurobindo comes to describe the soul. It is in the mother's voice. The souls of men have wandered from the light, and the great mother turns away her face. The great mother turns away her face. The eyes of the creatrix blinks are closed, and sorrow's touch has found her in her dreams. Everything, original innocence is lost. Death, ignorance has governed the fields of life. Primal innocence is lost. Still, something is there. Souls like a divine inhabitant, and great mother turns away her face. So, what is the change? Real field, what we expect and what we see. The eyes of the creatrix bliss are closed. Eyes of the creatrix bliss, the bliss that made the world initially, we have focused upon, it is written. So, and the sorrow's touch has found her in her charm. This after this closing of these eyes, sorrow's touch has found her in her dreams. As she turns and tosses on her bed of bed, because she can't wake and find herself. Because already written, she is asleep, touched the eyes like this, the things in her dreams, because she can't wake and find herself and can't build again her perfect self. This is the position. She can neither she can awake nor find herself, nor again build the perfect self, oblivious of her nature and her state, forgetting her instinct of felicity. The instinct, the bliss, then instinct of felicity is forgotten. So she is in a position, in a dreaming position, unable to open the eyes. This is the position, this is the criteria, this is the real picture we found again and again. Forgetting to create a world of joy. Two very beautiful lines are written here. Oblivious of her nature and her state, oblivious, then forgetting her instinct of felicity, number one. Number two, forgetting to create a world of joy, she weeps and make her creatures eyes to weep. This is the real scenario we see here. Only tears, only agony, only strife, only cry. These are the picture scenario, because death and ignorance has governed into entire life. The nature's primeval innocence is lost. Nature's visage, it has turned grayer. Things are now only clumsy, only confusion, and only darkness, grayness, everything. She weeps and makes her creatures eyes to weep, testing with sorrow's edge her children's breasts. This is the real position, real scenario we see. Now we feel, we live upon, and we pass through also. There is no remedy. She depends on life's visage waste of hope and toil, the poignant luxury of grief and tears. Poignant luxury of grief and tears. She spends on life's vain waste of hope and toil. Vain waste of hope and toil. It is only all are vain. The poignant luxury of grief and tears, in the nightmare change of her half-conscious dream, tortured herself and torturing herself by her touch. There is another word used, that is torture. She comes to our hearts and bodies and our lives. Very interesting. She comes to our hearts and bodies and our lives, wearing a hard and cruel mask of pain. This is the real, real position, the reality, the absolute reality. Wearing the hard and cruel mask of pain, she comes to our hearts and bodies and our lives. Our nature twisted by the abortive birth. Very interesting scene. The very twins and words are used. Abortive birth, birth through abortion. That is known as abortive birth. Our nature twisted by the abortive birth, because it is not the normal birth. So abortive birth is twisted. There is twist, there is confusion, there is actual original innocence is not there because it is a aborted birth. Returns wry answers to life's questioning sucks. Like wry answers to life's questioning sucks, it is returned, and before it, the term is used, dual term, the by interesting by terms are used to abortive births. An acrid release finds in the heart's wall pangs, drinks the sharp wine of grief's perversity. After abortive birth, it is again used. Then initially it was there cruel mask of pain. Then abortive birth, here it is written, drinks the sharp wine of grief's perversity. Sharp wine of grief's perversity, again wine, sharp wine of grief's perversity. A course is laid, again, once again, a course is laid on the pure joy of life. Pure of joy of life, it was there, the joy of life was pure, but now there is a course is laid, light. Then, delight, God's sweetest sign and beauty's twin. Delight, here in the course, very interesting definition on delight. Delight, what is delight? God's sweetest sign and beauty's twin. Dreaded by aspiring saint and austere sage, dreaded by aspiring saint and austere sage, is shunned, that delight is shunned. A dangerous and a ambiguous cheat it has it has actually turned into. A specious trick of an infernal power, it tempts the soul to its self-hurt and fall. Again, self-hurt and fall. The soul tempts the soul. These are the things. A specious trick of infernal power. Trick, specious trick, it is a big one. Infernal power, it tempts, this infernal power, specious trick, it tempts the soul to its self-hurt and fall. Naturally, it has to fall. There is no chance of getting up, spinning up. So, a Puritan God has made pleasure a poisonous fruit. Oh, just imagine how the life is changing, how the things are changing, the scenario is changing. A Puritan God, but actually Puritan God made pleasure a poisonous fruit. Or a red drug in the marketplace of death. After this abortive birth, wine, Puritan God, then comes the red drug. We see these the things we are familiar with. At least the words, familiar with the words, may not be the taste or something. Where a red drug in the marketplace of death. The end is death. This red drug is sold now itself. You see cocaine and all, many things, ganja. So, and sin, the child of nature's ecstasy, another term is used, sin. Sin, the child of nature's ecstasy, and every creature haunts for happiness, buys the heart's pangs or tears, buys with heart's pangs and tears by violence from the dull breast of inanimate globe. Inanimate globe, it is going to buy heart's pangs and tears by violence. Some fragment or some broken shard of bliss. That is not originally it is non broken shard of bliss. Every joy, even joy itself becomes a poisonous draught. Poisonous food then becomes poisonous draught, joy becomes. Its hunger is made a dreadful hook of fate. Another term is fate we are actually suffering from. It's all means are held good to catch a single beam. Eternity sacrificed for a moment's bliss. Nothing is known, everything is grey, everything is perverted. So eternity is sacrificed for a moment's bliss. Yet for joy and not for sorrow, earth was made. And not as a dream in endless suffering time, although, then your mother, see on the course. Although made God, you will ask what is the reasoning. Although God made the world for his delight, an ignorant power took charge and seemed his will, and death's deep falsity has mastered life. All grew a play of chance simulating face. God made the world, but an ignorant power took the charge and seemed his will. Death's deep falsity has mastered life. There is no chance of any survival. And all grew a play of chance simulating fate.